Coming up, we catch up with the table-topping Canaries, hoping for that coveted Premiership place.
We had to go out and spend some money, and quality costs some money.
And of course, we've all the goals from Divisions 2 and 3, plenty of quality to admire, and plenty of mistakes along the way as well.
For Football League clubs, the Premiership standings point to a bleak future. The rich are cutting the rest adrift. For only the second time since the top division broke away, all of last season's promoted teams could be heading straight back down. Demoralising for Division 1, but it doesn't deter leaders Norwich from chasing the dream.
I think it does show the difficulty of leaving this division and going into Premiership. No matter how good you are, I think there is a gap to be filled. 3 or 4 players isn't always enough. 5 or 6 would have to be probably the figure that we might to do, and maybe even more.
I look at the likes of Birmingham, who beat us in penalty kicks to go up and survived and done very well. I also look at Ipswich, who went up and whose first season up was very good. So I think you've got to give it everything you've got. There's no point in getting up as a defeatist.
After 2 seasons which ended in disappointment, the Norfolk club's taken a gamble to clinch promotion this time. Despite losing £4.5 million last year, over £1 million more's just been found for new strikers. Like the board, Darren Huckabee, Matthias Svensson and Leon McKenzie have faith in the manager's judgment.
Yeah, because he bought me, of course. That I can't. That's the way he's a good manager.
Finances have been very tight, as indeed they are at most other clubs nowadays. We had to go out and spend some money, and quality costs some money. I think I brought 3 quality players in to add to the good group of players that I've already got. And the one thing we're going to do this year is have a go.
He's on the tick all the time, makes you work hard, and the concentration level of things is really good. That's what I've learnt here since I come here first day. He wants you to be on it.
Promotion could give several of the squad their only chance to experience the top flight. A new £7 million stand is concrete proof of the club's commitment. Now it's up to the side to restore the status Norwich enjoyed in the 80s and early 90s.
People look back at that era and say, it was European football, 5th, 4th and 3rd in the league at the time, competing against the likes of Manchester United, Liverpool on a level playing field. And there is a long way to go before we do that, but just to have that opportunity again is great for the football club and great for the players.
We've got 2 or 3 our young lads at the moment who are doing very well and they're in the team at the moment. They're the type that you would say, yeah, maybe some of the lower Premiership would take a chance on. But apart from that, then you've really got to be promoted to go up there.
These are heady days for Norwich City again. And just to let you know, we actually hold the building of the stand up for 6 weeks. We had an archaeological dig in there and they actually found Andy Townsend's wallet.
If they thought he was tight, that's nothing compared to the top of Division 1. The leaders know going up is far from guaranteed.
This year there's Sheffield United, there's Ipswich, there's Sunderland, there's West Brom, there's West Ham. And there's 5 or 6 clubs there, plus there's 1 or 2 others on the fringes. So anybody in the top 10 is very capable of being in the top 2, certainly in the top 6.
You only need to look at Wolves 2 seasons ago, who were in the driving seat and were caught at the last minute with West Brom with a couple of weeks to go. It shows you how easily things can change. So, at the moment we're just focusing on our next 20 games.
What looked the biggest home banker on the coupon, in fact, produced the shock of the day. Bradford chairman Gordon Gibb had resigned on the eve of the match, but it clearly hadn't affected their spirit. Alan Armstrong, ironically on loan from East Anglian rivals Ipswich, hit the winner. The first time the Canaries had failed to score at home all season.
Merson swings over the cross. Here's Birch. Great save from Holt. And Lightau couldn't quite apply the finish. Sakiri and Kumas stand over the ball. It's going to be Jason Kumas. Took a big deflection off the wall. And nothing James Walker could do about it. Kumas scores, 1-0 Albion. Clement. Substitute Lloyd Dyer was calling for the ball. Trying to push and run past Paisley. He's done that. Up goes Derby, and Horsfield applies the finish. His first Albion goal. Here goes Koumas with Ritchie. You could see that collision coming. A nasty one for both players involved. Koumas went in rather two-footed.
After their FA Cup heroics, Gillingham came back down to earth with a huge thud. Commentary here from Tony Jones.
On by Henderson. Here's Sidibe, he's in the clear. Oh, Sidibe there needed to do a bit more. Easy for Paddy Kenny. Sheffield United and Gillingham drew 0-0 at Bramall Lane on the opening day of the season. Here's Leicester. It's a good run this by Jack Leicester. Finish didn't quite match the run. Hills. Here's Spiller. Oh, super turn! And the shot has come back off the crossbar. Kenny well beaten. Sheffield United defeated Cardiff in the FA Cup last weekend and are unbeaten in their last 4 games in the First Division. Kenny trying to search out Alisson, and here's Pescasolido. Sheffield United in front 7 minutes before half-time. Paul Pescasolido is something of a supporting act at Sheffield United at the moment, but he's made the most of a rare start here. He's given Sheffield United the lead. Pescasolido. Here's Tom. Now Leicester. Jagielka. In towards Tong. And Pescasolido. A second goal for Sheffield United and a second for Paul Pescasolido. Gillingham ought to be unhappy about the way in which they dealt with the cross. But Pescasolido was quick to react then. Quick and brave. Gillingham have lost 6 games at home this season. This could be defeat number 7. Leicester! The shot against the woodwork. Again, the defending was dreadful. Page in first, and Leicester following up. Page just waiting for McCall to make his way forward. Gillingham flying last Saturday in the FA Cup against Charlton, but not here. On by Alisson. Pescasolido. Oh, he scored a hat-trick. Brilliant goal by Paul Pescasolido. It was such a tight angle for him. 7 goals now this season, 3 in this one game. But it isn't the first hat-trick of his career. You have to go back a long way for the last one, though. It was for Fulham against Carlisle in 1997. Andy Hessenthaler clearly unimpressed with the way Gillingham have performed. Good work by Hills. And towards Saunders. There's a decent chance for the substitute. Saunders grappling with Kozluk before breaking clear. Hills. And towards Sidibe. That just about sums up Gillingham's performance here. On by McCall. Here's Leicester. Pescasolido. Leicester again. Chance for Jack Leicester. Denied by Vasson. He's had a couple of opportunities, Jack Leicester, but unlike Paul Pescasolido, he hasn't been able to take them.
Quietly, confidently and menacingly for their rivals, Sunderland appear to be coming good at just the right time. And if the Black Cats can resist Celtic's reported interest in their Argentinian match winner Julio Arca, then automatic promotion is a genuine possibility. Discontent in East London is growing almost by the match. Another home defeat. The Hammers have now won just 5 of 14 league games at Upton Park, and that despite David Connolly's opener. Not that they exactly helped themselves. Marlon Harewood's ridiculous refusal to retreat 10 yards earned the former Forest man a booking, and more crucially as it turned out, meant the ball was moved 10 yards nearer his team's goal. Preston's Ricardo Fuller has been the subject of plenty of transfer speculation, and no wonder. His leveller was the Jamaican's 8th goal in 7 games, and most of the West Ham faithful knew what was coming next. Just 3 minutes later, the reverse camera angle provided a perfect view of how Graham Alexander's corner led to David Healy's third. Preston leapfrogged the Hammers in the table, and they've now lost just once in 14. The scoreline could have been even more embarrassing had Richard Cresswell not been denied by the bar. The pressure on the manager is becoming intense.
It's hairy, scary stuff here, and we got to give and show a little bit more about us when we concede a goal. The stain of relegation, the body language of players deteriorates when we concede, and it happened again today.
It's a difficult place to come against West Ham in London, big crowd, full attendance, and it proved that our lads are, I think, serious contenders in this league championship. We've been trying desperately to ensure that people take us seriously.
6 games without a victory now for Reading, although boss Steve Coppell refuses to be downbeat, even after his side threw away a lead following Lloyd Owusu's first goal for the club since his loan move from Sheffield Wednesday. Ipswich haven't lost on the road for nearly 4 months, and John McGreal did poach a leveller. Boss Joe Royle wasn't exactly over-impressed though. He says his team aren't good enough in front of goal, even though they're the division's leading scorers. Wigan have won just twice in 11 games since they topped the table in early November, and they were fortunate to even get a point. 20-year-old Kevin Braniff inexplicably wide, only 8 minutes in. Paul Jewell's side did improve after the break, but enjoyed no luck. Jimmy Bollard picked out Neil Roberts, who beat Tony Warner, but not the frame of the goal. They got a huge break near the end though, when following an almighty scramble, Tim Cahill forced the ball in, but ref Eddie Ilderton ruled that he'd used his hand, and it didn't count. After last weekend's cup humbling by Telford, this was a real morale booster for Dario Gradi's crew, even though Wimbledon had twice as many shots on goal. Ben Ricks came close in a first half otherwise devoid of genuine chances. But Steve Jones' 14th of the season settled the issue just after the hour mark, although both managers thought it was offside. Nonetheless, the Railwaymen's first ever win over the Dons at the 16th attempt. All 5 goals in an explosive first half at Ninian Park. Your commentator here is Bob Simmons.
Off the line, scrambled in. Rotherham get the breakthrough then. And Stuart Talbot, the midfield man, getting the tap in. Barker with a turn into the area, great chance, and that's 2. John Mullin, the midfield man, adds a second goal. Vidmar into the box towards Thorne. Peter Thorne, the man of the moment for Cardiff City, brings them back into the game. Kavanagh to Langley. Weston scheming up. Chance for Cardiff City. Thorne at the far post. Kavanagh! The skipper has brought the sides level just before half-time. Rick beaten to it that time. Thorne with the ball for Earnshaw, showing his paces, does well. Now then, can he score? He can! Cardiff City 3, Rotherham 2. Robert Earnshaw breaks his neck.
Both managers apparently happy with the point at Selhurst, even though there was little creativity from either side. Amazingly, it was Burnley's first goalless draw in the league for 14 months. Conversely, it's now 3 league games without a goal for Coventry, but they couldn't have come much closer. Yusuf Safri, the unlucky man, he's now off to join Morocco for the African Nations Cup. Stoke boss Tony Pulis described this as a massive result, especially as his side had to recover from conceding within the opening minute. Lee Morris capitalising on some very hesitant defending. Stoke's equaliser might have been route one, but their fans certainly weren't complaining. Adi Akinbaye clear for his 4th goal in his last half-dozen matches. And in case you're wondering about the celebration, it was Elvis Day, even if it wasn't exactly Las Vegas. Since Joey Taggart's joined on loan, the Potters have won 5 out of 6, and he wasn't exactly bought to score goals either. Stoke up to 13th, their highest position since October. Much tighter now, with Norwich's lead cut to just 2 points, and Sheffield United in 3rd also have a game in hand. Incredibly, Crewe are just 4 points off the playoffs. Wimbledon's 19th defeat of the campaign, coupled with Bradford's shock win, means the Dons are now 5 points adrift at the bottom. They're at home to inform Stoke on Saturday. Still to come, full storms for Wycombe and Carlisle, winners last week, but both beaten at the weekend.
The week before, Grimsby had lost 4-1 to bottom club Wycombe, while Plymouth thumped 7 past Chesterfield. But the foregone conclusion didn't occur at Blundell Park. In fact, once Argyle striker Mickey Evans had gone close, manager Paul Sturrock was happy to take a point. Grimsby player boss Paul Groves had recalled himself to the side after the defeat at Wycombe, one of 5 changes. As a result, the Mariners became only the 4th team this season to stop Plymouth scoring, and they had the best chance themselves. Phil Jevons, the unlucky man. QPR edged a little closer to Argyle at the top simply by taking their chance when it came at Bloomfield Road and then hanging on. Blackpool keeper Lee Jones' failure to hold Paul Furlong's shot gave Martin Rowlands a 32nd minute tap-in. But from then on, keeper Chris Day was Rangers' hero. He couldn't do much about Steve Elliott's second-half strike, but his reactions to deny John Murphy from the rebound ensured QPR's first away win since November the 1st. Bristol City now lead the chasing pack. Commentary at Meadow Lane from Jed Pittman.
Phillips with the clearance. And Peacock got in well and scores beautifully. It's his 13th goal this season. It might have been route one, but it's perfection as far as City are concerned. Here's Barras. Chance for a run from Bolland. He's got players in the centre. Can he find them? He can! 1-1. And City have this free kick. What a crucial moment this could be. Well saved by Mildenhall. Comes back for Tinian. Here's a chance too. 2-1. It's headed in by Goodfellow on his debut for Bristol City. And in the first minute of injury time, he's surely given City the 3 points.
Colchester finished this game with 10 men after Carl Duguid picked up his 2nd red card in a fortnight for a foul on Kevin Betsy, and the Essex side now haven't won for 5 games, despite Wayne Andrews' quick reactions to Sasha Illich's fumble. Barnsley escaped Layer Road with a point thanks to Betsy's late equaliser, which came 2 minutes before Duguid's dismissal. A great finish from Alex Neil's cross, the striker's 9th goal of the season. More drop points for Brighton, whose challenge for automatic promotion is slipping away. Still, it could have been worse for Albion. Keeper Ben Roberts deflected Danny Boschel's shot onto the bar. After the break, Daniel Harding almost scored his first goal for Brighton, who've now taken 5 points from as many games. Latics caretaker John Sheridan was happy with 1 point and a first league clean sheet since September. 10,000 followed Hartlepool to the Stadium of Light last weekend. Less than half that number saw them beat Peterborough thanks to Adrian Williams' first half finish to Chris Shuker's through ball. On Boxing Day, Poole lost their first home league game for 15 months, but they're off again despite Sangy Burton's second half header. Matt Gill's red card 15 minutes from time rather dented Posh's prospects of an equaliser. With almost 23,000 watching, how Sheffield Wednesday must envy Hartlepool's home form. They now haven't won at Hillsborough in the league since October the 1st, a record which didn't look like ending once Tommy Mooney had struck for Swindon. But Wednesday escaped with a draw thanks to their main goal threat these days, Mark Robins. The veteran striker converted Derek Geary's cross for his 4th in 7 games for the Owls. Still, the home side almost blew it. Late on, Steve Haslam kept out Andy Gurney's strike, but 7 home league draws isn't exactly playoff form for Chris Turner's side. These local rivals had met 5 times before, and Luton had won them all, so this will feel like progress for Rushden, but it should have been rather better for Brian Talbot's men, who hit back strongly after Adrian Forbes' 6th-minute opener for the visitors. That was Forbes' 14th goal of the season, but the home side was soon level. Paul Hall finding the space and given the time to pick out Paul Kitson. But by half-time, Luton were back in front through a similar route. This time the cross came from Ahmed Berkovic, and Peter Holmes did the rest. Talbot claimed that the result confirmed how far Rushden had come. Consolidation in Division 2 is their aim this season, but Luton have the playoffs in mind. Their chances weren't helped by the defending, which allowed Barry Hunter a free header for Rushden's equaliser midway through the second half. But in the end, Luton were relieved to take a point because they gave away a penalty in the dying minutes. Steve Robinson, the man penalised for handball by referee Steve Tanner. Richie Hanlon stepped up for the spot kick, and he'd never missed one before. Well, he has now, thanks to Luton keeper Marlon Beresford. At that moment, a point in the derby seemed little consolation. 4 straight league defeats for Bournemouth since they went out of the cup on penalties to Accrington, and midway through the first half they trailed again. Stephen McPhee, the scorer for Vale. But soon after the interval, the visitors' defence helped the Cherries back into it. Mickey Cummins' back pass left his keeper struggling. Instead of the ball, Johnny Brain caught Warren Feeney. But he made no contact at all with Gareth O'Connor's spot kick. And within 5 minutes of levelling, Bournemouth were leading. Stephen Cook's pass setting up Steve Fletcher for a first goal in 14 matches. His finish completed a game that Brain won't mind forgetting. A lively start at Griffin Park, and none of the action was good for Brentford. First, French striker Eugene Dardy put Tranmere in front. And then, just 2 minutes later, the home side were down to 10 men. Stephen Evans off for a foul on Sean Connolly. It looked hard to argue with referee Lee Cable's decision. But Brentford's response to those 2 quick setbacks was impressive. Less than 10 minutes later, Stephen Hunt had fired them level. Things calmed down a bit after that, until the hour mark that is, when from Mickey Mellon's corner, Dardy's bullet header put Tranmere back in front. His 8th goal of the season. But this time it took Brentford just 2 minutes to equalise. Ben May's persistence and power did the trick. The real bad news for Tranmere before their cup replay with Bolton is that striker Simon Howarth will miss the rest of the season with a broken leg. Brentford's boss was left with more positives to build on.
The problem we've had recently is that it hasn't been the way we've been playing, it's the way we've been not finishing teams off. You know, we've been in the driving seat in 3 or 4 games recently, and we just haven't closed it out. And perhaps it takes something like today. I said to the players beforehand, you know, a win today would give them a real lift, but you know, something like today, that they know the spirits, and they've played really well as well. You know, they haven't just sort of wellied their way back into the game. They've passed the ball and they've worked hard, and that could kickstart them to give them a little bit more confidence as well.
So how would Chesterfield respond to that hammering by Plymouth? The answer was to match Wrexham for 70 minutes and then take the lead, thanks to Steve Blatherwick's looping header. But Wrexham hit back quickly. Substitute Chris Armstrong tried to beat keeper Carl Muggleton, then Chris Llewellyn had a go before Armstrong finally managed it. But Dennis Smith was a very unhappy manager 4 minutes from time when Leeds United loanee Jamie McMaster found an unmarked Ian Evatt to fire Chesterfield's winner. Their 3rd victory in 4 games either side of that unfortunate trip to Devon. Wycombe couldn't build on that win over Grimsby, and Tony Adams believes he now faces the toughest fight of his career to keep them up. After just 8 minutes, Millwall loanee Stuart Nethercott handled Ricky Lambert's corner, and Lambert himself stepped up to put Stockport in front. And after that, their first win in 7 games was rather a stroll. By half-time, County were 2 up after a goal which summed up Wycombe's form and luck. Keeper Steve Williams cleared the danger only as far as Simon Lynch's legs. Adams won't give up, but avoiding the drop would match any of his past glories. Plymouth's lead at the top is down to 2 points, with QPR a further 8 points clear of the playoff places, the last of which is now occupied by Hartlepool, up 5 spots from 11th. The bottom 4 are unchanged, but Chesterfield and Notts County swap places. With 20 games to go, Wycombe are now 8 points adrift of safety.
Darlington have lost 5 of their last 6 games by the same 1-0 scoreline, but they created some decent openings against Hull and might have taken the lead. Neil Wainwright's shot hitting a post. Hull, however, are a team playing with confidence, and they secured their 4th successive win when Stuart Elliott followed up after Jamie Forrester had failed to connect. Striker Richie Foran missed the chance to mark his loan move from Carlisle with a goal. Oxford, though, are now unbeaten in 17 games. This was Leyton Orient's heaviest defeat for 2 years, and 3 of the goals were scored by Leo Fortune West, a striker who had a spell on loan to Orient while he was with Gillingham back in 1997. It was just too easy for Fortune West, who scored his first goal after 6 minutes, and who again found himself in the right place at the right time when Greg Blundell's shot was only blocked by Glenn Morris. Orient manager Martin Ling admitted that he'd been embarrassed by his team's showing and the ease in which Fortune West was able to complete a 12-minute hat-trick. Doncaster had lost their last 2 away games, but they've been impressive at home all season and went 4 up barely 10 minutes into the second half. Blundell beating Morris at his near post. Orient were on their way to their biggest defeat since crashing 6-1 at Carlisle on January the 12th, 2002. Substitute Peter Hines wrapped things up. Kidderminster nearly embarrassed Premiership strugglers Wolves, who only just scraped a 1-1 draw in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. But Graham Ward was left red-faced at Field Mill after missing a first-half penalty. Adam Murray was fouled, but Ward couldn't beat Kevin Pilkington. Mansfield are keeping the pressure on the leaders. Rhys Day heading in Lee Williamson's free kick. Yeovil's cup run was ended by Liverpool, but they're still going well in the league. Here's Martin Dean.
Skiverton with the long ball through the middle towards Gavin Williams. Took it down well. Can he get a shot away here, Williams? And it's curled into the corner of the net. And Yeovil take the lead. This is Elam. A little chip in towards Gavin Williams. Might come for goal. Williams. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Huddersfield have gone 5 games without defeat and they've won their last 4, although they needed a helping hand a minute before half-time from Cambridge United's Daniel Webb. Referee Andy Hall saw Webb's sleight of hand and awarded a penalty. John Stead beat Sean Marshall. That was Stead's 18th goal of the season. Cambridge had their chances, but Huddersfield increased their lead in spectacular fashion. John Worthington head over heels. Cambridge supporters are unhappy that top scorer Dave Kitson has been sold to Reading, and they booed chairman Gary Harwood when he went on the pitch at half-time to thank fans for raising the extra £100,000 that keep the club in business for the time being. Adam Tan's last-minute goal did little to lift the gloom around the Abbey Stadium. After 7 defeats, a win for Bury, watched by club commentator Gordon Sawfleet.
Robinson with his left foot. What a great save! A tremendous shot from Robinson, and it was an excellent save from Garner. Ball driven in, and it's Swales. Swales gets in, and a goal. Swales with his 2nd goal of the season. But there's that man again, Glenn Whelan. Duffy slides in. Oh, that's a red card. Daly now. Yes, it's there. Daly. A great lob there.
I said to the lads at half time, for us to be 0-0, it's like winning the lottery because we should be down. And in the second half, we just couldn't raise it again. You know, as I say, from start to finish, there was no life about our game, no sparkle, and we've got that. So I've got to look at it and say, well, in 12 months, that's the biggest off day we've had.
Any reason? I mean, you had a game Saturday, a tough game on Saturday in the Cup, and then you played Oxford, which I believe was a tremendous game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and going into that game, obviously we bring a degree of confidence, but it wasn't there today.
So that proved that it's not quite like people might feel that Swansea are going to do things. I mean, you should come to Bury, who hadn't won in 8 games. Really, you should be doing something here, shouldn't you?
But in this division, and we showed it last year when we were in deep trouble. Any team can beat anybody in this league on the day, and that's what Bury proved today.
The big talking point at the Memorial Ground, the penalty Bristol Rovers were awarded just before half-time when Wayne Graves bodged into Wayne Carlisle. Referee Trevor Kettle upset Graves and his Scunthorpe teammates, but seconds later it was Carlisle's turn to complain. Carlisle had scored from the penalty spot, but the referee had spotted some encroachment. So Carlisle had to try again, and again he scored.
There's Kuffour. Finds Russell. Torquay now with a bit of a break on. Kuffour to the right, Hill to the left. Higsel in front of him as Russell goes for the shot. There's Kuffour! And after more than 8 hours of football, a Torquay United player finally scores a goal, and that man is Joe Kuffour. For Walker. On in turn for Smith. Great call from Des Little. Has 3 in the middle to pick from. Little. It's going to come for Chris Hargreaves. Nods it down for Smith. Decent turn. Fine save from Kevin Dearden. Cannaville just opens up for him. Cannaville with a decent effort. And a fine goal from Lee Cannaville. Asamoah. Neat into the path of Smith. Decent ball in for Sampson. And Ian Sampson scores. And Northampton are back in this game when really they should be out of it. Torquay take the corner short. Russell swings it in. It will come back for Craig Taylor. And if you want the job done, look to your captain. Craig Taylor must have won this game now for Torquay United. A delightful finish. Scoreline that matches Torquay United 3, Northampton Town 1.
Boston were hovering uneasily above the drop zone just after Christmas. It's so tight down there, 2 wins in 3 games have pushed them up to 15th. They had the boost of an early goal against Macclesfield. Graham Jones tidying up.